Anything else?
You know, wrestling, it just helps build character. It helps build discipline. It helps learn right from wrong. You know, in life, not just in sports, I believe that everything is earned. There is no handouts. Nothing's truly just given to you for, you know, opening the door and walking through it. So I think what wrestling, you know, really gave me was just, you know, it opened my mind to a lot of things. Adversity, obstacles, being able to push through when things don't go your way. You know, no matter what you do in life, there's always going to be fallbacks, there's always going to be setbacks. It's really how you bounce back and deal with them. You know, wrestling itself it's an unbelievable sport. The roller coaster is constantly up and down. You know, there very rarely is just an even keel of success or an even keel of, you know, failure. It's constantly going up and down, so being able to adapt and adjust and continuing to have that common goal and push for it is something that really helped me a lot. I think it just helped me build who I am as a person, really, wrestling. You know, that's the best thing about coaching, man. It's so self-rewarding. You know, you're not the one that's out there wrestling. You're not the one that's out there competing, but at the same time, I compete, you know, 14 times a dual mat. In high school, there's 14 matches. You know, what I tell my kids is that I'm not on the mat with you, but trust me, every 6-minute match that you're wrestling, I'm wrestling with you. And, you know, you really see a difference. The coolest thing about coaching is that you're not only making them, you know, better wrestlers, better football players, better athletes. You know, you're changing their perspective on life, helping them mature from, you know, young men or young boys to young men to adults. I mean, it really is just a big ladder, and eventually it's inevitable you have to climb it. So if I can help guide kids in the right direction, help kids, you know, stay motivated, approach life with a different, you know, a different perspective, you know, that's great, man. It's like I said, it's so self-rewarding. It really is. You know, immediately I loved it. You know, I always found myself liking combat sports. You know, I like to have, you know, one-on-one aspect. I like the attitude of, you know, if you win, you know, you can take all that credit. It makes yourself feel, you know, you feel great. And if you lose, you really can't point the finger. It's you have to go back, you have to face that man in the mirror, and you have to evaluate, and then you have to go figure out what you did wrong and not do it again. I mean, that's what really drew me to, you know, collegiate wrestling. You know, I could have had the opportunity to play other sports in college. You know, maybe could have played baseball, could have played football. I mean, I'm kind of short, so football was tough. But I mean, I love football. Football's a great sport too. But that one-on-one aspect, that one-on-one combat is really what keeps me like into it. You know, loyalty. I mean, I'm always there to help, man. My friends, like my family, anybody, whether it's your best friend or just someone that I, you know, associate with a couple times. If someone sticks their neck out and they need help, you know, I'm there to help, man. It's just the person I am. I think it's a lot to do with my mother, my father. Probably has a lot to do with their parents as well. It's just who we are as individuals. I'm caring, man. You know, like I said, I'm an intense person. When I go into things, I do them 100%. I'm dedicated, man. Like I said, you know, I find myself, I set a lot of goals, you know, and that's not just sport related. I set goals in pretty much anything I do in life, and you know, I try and take the right steps to hit those goals. And the craziest part is, no matter how much goals or how many goals you set, you're not going to get to them all. And there's going to be, like I said before, setbacks. You're going to have adversity. There is no blueprint to having success. If there was, everybody in the world would be happy as could be, and everyone in the world would be successful. It's just not the way it is, man. It's reality. So, I mean, like I said, I set goals, dude, and I try and work towards it.